Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Star Control Origins. The game has just launched, and so I'll be playing through the first hour and giving a bit of developer's commentary. My name is Callum McCall. I'm a designer, writer, and voice actor in this game. I've only been on it for since about April, but it's gone through a lot of changes since then, so I'll shut up and we'll go through the cutscene.
Recall the captain. Tell him that he's needed.
He's still on administrative.
I've seen this like 100 times.
That no longer matters. He's the only one qualified to command the prototype Vindicator.
So, Star Control Origins is a bit of a retro throwback, and we waste no time in getting to that. So this panel that you enter your details into, it looks like an old PC. And so Star Control is a old franchise. It's over 25 years, so we want to sort of give that retro throwback, and there's many ways that we do that. So I'll just go Captain Picard. Yeah, and so bit of an Easter egg, we have Sins of a Solar Empire 2. Every YouTube video that we post, there's always comments like, when's Sins 2 coming? And of course, you know, Half-Life 3. So that sort of shows you the precedent for the kind of humor that makes Star Control really good, is we have a lot of witty one-liners and little goofs. Writing, I think, is definitely one of the strongest pillars of the game, alongside the music and the cool amalgamation of these three different kind of game modes. You have the planet exploration, you have the dialogue with all these goofy aliens, and you have an incredible soundtrack. We were able to get, I believe, all of the original composers from Star Control 2, or at least two of them, Riku and, yeah, I don't remember the other one. But that's our ship, the Vindicator. And it's cool to see the actual Vindicator.
Should be coming over to you shortly, Captain. Time to get started.
Oh, never mind. We'll go through this and then I'll continue my ranting.
To Triton and investigate the alien radio signal that's originating there. It's just a series of regular pulses at 1.42 gigahertz. That's the hydrogen line, in case you've forgotten your radio astronomy.
Yeah, I'm no expert when it comes to radio astronomy. I watch a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I actually saw him live when he came to Perth, which was awesome, but that's as far as I go.
Less certain why aliens might be on one of Neptune's moons, though.
So this is the commander of Star Control, well, one of the commanders. So she's gone through several iterations. There's some concept art on like the dev journals, and I definitely prefer the look she has now. Like the older one had this like short hair and she looks really angry, whereas like I think we want to set a good precedent for the game, and I think this commander does it quite well because she's kind of goofy, she's kind of like young and like fun and upbeat, which is sort of the tone of the game. And now, fun piece of trivia, she actually isn't young, but because we're in the future, the year is 2088, she looks young, so
their departure is the whole reason we have a Star Control in the
something crisper.
Your mission to Triton takes priority.
Now, I love this. The leg sights are a throwback to Ashes of the Singularity Escalation. The leg sights are in the prequel of the book. The book is the prequel of Ashes, I should say. So they're not in the same universe. We sort of we opened it up as if it was, but it's not. So this is like kind of our tutorial.
What do you want to know?
She teaches you about like, how do I fly my ship? Of course, we're not going to go through that.
Hope that helps, Captain. It's the fastest, try not to lose it. It's also equipped with our latest resource collection landers, which we used up a lot of material. If we want to make any more Vindicator-class vessels, we're going to need you to collect the resources to do it. Looks like you've got everything stowed away now, Captain. You're all set. Good luck. And please, there are a lot of people down on Earth anxious to find out what's going on.
All right. And thus, our adventure begins. So here we are in the Sol system. We're in front of Earth, the moon, Star Control base, and we're somewhat near the sun. So we can fly around anywhere in the Sol system. We can't leave just yet because we don't have hyperspace. And so we've been ordered to go to Triton, which is one of the moons of Neptune. And I'd like to pretend that I knew that before working on Star Control, but no, I learned that through the course of this game. And so we have this training base as more of a tutorial for the fleet battles, the combat element of the game, and it's very deliberately placed in a way that you can't possibly miss it if you are flying towards Triton. So we're going to go to the Ceres training base. I know how to play this video game. I've played it a few times, shall we say. But you do get some cool stuff if you go through the trials. And we can ask him stuff. I mean, all of the characters you meet generally have a lot of different dialogue you can ask them about. They'll tell you stuff. Sometimes the stuff they tell you is like little useful tips that you don't quite realize at the time. But we'll go ahead and start with a combat trial. So this introduces us to fleet battles. Currently, we just have a piece of junk, the Vindicator, with a basic nuke. That's all we got. But it's okay because we're versing a combat drone. He's going to pew-pew me, but the pew-pews are not that intimidating. Not yet. The pew-pews become very intimidating. Don't you worry about that. But for now, the pew-pews are just a little slap and a tickle. And we get the advanced nuke. So that's a weapon that we can replace. So you can customize your main ship, and there's lots of different things you can customize. You know, you can upgrade your fuel capacity, your cargo capacity, your speed. You can get these different bonuses and perks. But one of the big things you can customize is your weapons. So you can get all kinds of funky weapons. Some are alien weapons, some are left over from the precursors, some are basically nukes turned up the dial to 100. So the Vindicator, your ship, it's designed to be modular, so you can really turn it into an absolute beast if you get enough dollar bills to do that. So right now I'm struggling to hit this thing because this nuke, it's pretty slow moving, doesn't track that well. And we see the point defense. So we've got an advanced nuke, we've got the point defense. That makes our ship a fair bit better. Now what I want to do with this playthrough is I want to speed through chapter 1 pretty fast. The main reason why is just because we've shown chapter 1 so much, and especially if you've been following the development, a lot of you have probably already seen what I'm going to be doing. What I really want to be showing you guys is the stuff that I was working on. Like, I want to show you the character that I voiced. I want to show you some of the quests that I wrote. And that's the little controls. So, as you can see, we put a lot of effort into trying to make the new player ramp as smooth as possible. And it was a challenge because what we wanted to do, we didn't want to make like a really on-the-rails, boring kind of introduction. We want to make the chapter 1 actually kind of difficult, and it is because it's non-linear. You don't know where to go. Apart from at the very start where there's that arrow to Triton, after this you really have to just go out and explore Sol to find the parts that you need.
Actually came. I can't tell you how sweaty we are to see you.
And this is the Taiwan. So as you'll see, there's a lot of different dialogue options.
And you're a medium-sized mammal. We come in all shapes and densities.
Yeah, some more dense than others, my friend.
I am Chief Viscosity Officer Windu of the Taiwan. You think it's nice to meet me? That's a wonderful change from the usual disgust and contempt we receive when meeting new species. It's a funny story. You'll like it. It starts with these guys called the Scribe. They're the ones who shot us down. They're kind of our friends.
Now you'll start to see a recurring theme. The Taiwan are really obsessed with friends.
They hate us. Not great friends, really. More accurately, they are our masters and the rulers of a cruel empire that we are forced to serve. We're actually trying to protect you from the Scribe. We began receiving your radio transmissions about 50 years ago. You're a fascinating
You hear that, folks? We're fascinating.
And because we knew the Scribe would destroy you if they found you, we've been keeping you a secret from them. At least we were. Until a few months ago. The Scribe had evidently received traces of your radio broadcasts themselves. They dropped some pretty terrifying hints that they were looking for you. We were on our way here to stall them, which we did, by getting shot down by them. Hence the distress call.
So you can either be a bit of an asshole, or you can be a bit nicer to the Taiwan. And I know this because I worked on the game, but there are consequences to what you say, and they're not immediate. It's not like, oh, you said this one thing, now we hate you. The way that it works is there's incremental sort of points that you get towards certain things, like Taiwan friendly +5. Or +1 if you get to a certain point, then something's going to happen.
Squished when we dropped out of hyperspace. Our hyperwave radio was one of them, which is why we had to call for help the old-fashioned way. Also, half of our entire ship fell off. Now we might actually be able to repair all that damage, but we will definitely need that other half of our spaceship back. We can? I don't want to bore you with all the little technical details. Simply put, we are really good at our jobs here. Thanks.
When it comes to RPGs, I'm always kind of the nice guy, and the Taiwan are just so sweet, I don't have it in me to be mean to them.
I'm not sure where precisely. All planets look the same when you're crying. Though if I had to guess, I'd say it was around one of your larger, bluer worlds. Also, we lost a couple of hyperdrive modules. We'll definitely need those if we want to not starve to death far from home. Those definitely went down somewhere in your inner solar system. But finding all of this shouldn't be a problem for a ship with both its halves.
We can ask him more questions, but I won't go into that.
We'll give you so many hugs if you manage to succeed. Great!
Oh yeah, I forgot to even talk about planet landing. Like I've done this so many times that I'm so used to it. So yeah, we're on the planet Triton, and I'm controlling this lander. So it's pretty simple. It's WASD to move around, and there's additional mechanics like I can use shift to boost, which allows me to get sick air. And there's a jump mechanic, but I don't have the jump module yet. And so when you're on the planet, you collect resources.
Press tab to view your inventory,
as our first officer so eloquently captured. And so with these resources, you sell them, and with the money you get from them, you can use them to get various upgrades and stuff to help you in your space adventures. So this planet, there isn't a lot of valuable stuff here. The only thing that is actually valuable is nickel. So there's no harm really in collecting this, but I'm only going to sell it for 1 RU per the amount that I'm collecting, so it's really not worth the effort. Nickel I think sells for 5, so that's much better in that case. But so each planet has like a different look and a different style, and some of the gas giants, which you can't land on, you can try. E for effort, participation award, but no, we can't land on Neptune, nor can we land on Jupiter because they are gas giants. I think those are the only planets you can't land on in Sol. And of course, there's plenty of other gas giants around. So notice how the camera automatically zooms out and then directs itself to where I'm flying. It's the AI camera. The only thing you have to control is the movement. You don't have to move the camera or anything like that. So very, very easy to fly. So now we're on the planet Callisto, or rather we're in orbit. Here we can see a bunch of different resources. There's a lot more valuable stuff here. So that sells for 5, 1, and 10. So let's land on here. Let's pick up some of these, because the green resources are what's going to pay the bills. It's what's going to feed the family. Little Jimmy needs an operation done, and that's not cheap. And so this is a very different planet because it's not a water planet like Triton. So all the different planets, they have their own style of color, of terrain. Some are really flat, like the desert planets in particular. Some are a lot more rocky. Some, it's practically impossible to navigate around if you don't have the jump upgrade because you keep getting stuck in canyons. So in the top left, it shows the storage I have. It shows the boost energy, and it shows your lander crew, because some planets are not so hospitable. Some planets will try to murder you and take all of your cookies. And there's a couple in this system. So of course, Venus, some of the moons too are a little bit scary. This one's a bit more barren. I know where to go, so I'm just gonna show a couple more of what these planets look like. Now, what I also like is that so many of these planets are actually maps in Ashes. Ashes of the Singularity, the game that I worked on prior to this. I do want to land on Ganymede though. This is a 2v2 map in Ashes, just because I think it's a Russian probe. Oh, and the light automatically turns on. So there's night and day on each planet. Yeah, this is Sputnik.
Looks like an old Russian space probe, Captain. It's neat, but not much we can do with it.
I don't know what that says. I'm sure it says something about space in Russia, but... So, let's head to planet Oberon, or rather the moon Oberon. So, there was a bit of a clue. He said, like, one of the bluer worlds. So, actually, what planet is that? I should know this. That is the planet... Nope. Tell me. Uranus. Ah, of course. How could I forget? My favorite planet. Oh, and you have to control the landing too. So most of these planets are pretty easy. We made it so there aren't any windy planets in Sol. But some of the other planets you go to in the different systems, it's so windy that you practically can't land on it. And in order to land on it, you have to get like the wind resistance for your lander, so it makes your descent a little more gentle. So there's various hazards on the planets, and there's different types of hazards. So there's like volcanoes, there's critters, there's hurricanes, and so forth. And now we're meeting the scribe.
Vessel does not match patterns for any authorized sentient being. EM broadcast detected. Spectrum analysis. Technological development level T3. 2D image in broadcast identified. Processing. Facial edge discrimination does not match known sentience in this sector. You are not a Taiwan. Who are you?
No, we're Taiwans. Check again. I think I definitely give off the Taiwan vibe.
A scribe legate has been notified of your
Something about pheromones.
That is approaching this sector now. Hold. Transmission incoming. New orders received. Local fleet probe vessel 0 will clear system of unauthorized organic vessels. Continue to remain where you are.
Alright, now we have the real thing. Fleet battles. And there's a scary Pew-Pew. Now that one, it's not as scary as it looks. We also wanted to make that Pew-Pew not terrifying. Though that being said, I am playing on Expert, so I can get wrecked pretty quickly. Now that we're versing actual enemies, we get RU. That's resource units, so that's where your money comes from. Most of the RU is going to come from salvaging, rather from collecting resources off of worlds. Salvaging destroyed enemies is one way of doing it. And one cool thing is that you come across enemy freighters and transports.
Sir,
and if you attack them, you get a lot more salvage rather than just killing like fighters. So you're incentivized to go kill wounded, unarmed transports. But it's okay because you can kill scribe transports or like the other transports that are not so friendly. But if you want to, you can also murder the friendly transports and take all their goodies. This is Mars. So if you ever wanted to know what Mars looks like, just check out Star Control Origins. Unfortunately, there's no colony here, no Elon Musk, unfortunately.
This looks like part of an alien spaceship, Captain. I bet.
So yeah, like I said, I'm going through chapter 1 pretty fast because we have such a massive world that I want to show off, and so I'm going to be doing that.
You're back. How was Triton, Captain?
Now,
Or what?
the reason why I'm coming back before going to Triton is because I want to equip my ship
Unauthorized organ-
with all those new
Our
weapons that I got.
exobiol, based on their word choice, blinking, and overall clamminess levels, we believe that this one was genuinely in fear for his life. So we've come to a conclusion. We want you to help them. This is too great an opportunity to pass up. Given what you've just told us about this scribe probe, it sounds like this is a pretty credible threat. Oh? Like what? I guess that's Starship. Unfortunately, things are a little tight around here. We've used up almost every resource we had making that ship of yours. Even making payroll has been challenging. I have not been too popular around here lately. Return here with any resources you find on your travels. We'll use advanced space accounting practices to determine what we can build with them. This will all be presented to you as resource units, or RU. Which
Or
you can then
rubles.
exchange for fuel or other supplies.
Right. So I kind of keep forgetting that I'm actually playing this for a stream. My default is just to skip the dialogue because I've played through this like so many times. So it's really the advanced Newcon and the point defense. So now my ship is a little bit better, but we have all these empty modules. So currently we can't fill them with much. We're on Earth. Earth isn't that advanced compared to the other aliens at least. So there really isn't much here that we can do. But as you play the game, you get more and more unlocks and more things that you can upgrade. You also can find various ship upgrades scattered
Is there
throughout.
anything else?
Nope.
Good luck, Captain.
Now this first, probably shouldn't be spoiling it, but whatever. The first encounter with the scribe, you don't need a very tough ship. Like we made sure that first fight, or the second fight, is not super hard, but because I'm playing on an expert, I can get murdered very, very quickly. So I want to make sure I have my ship as strong as it can be. We can also jump on the bouncy castle. Unfortunately, it's a methane geyser and our crew dies. But hey, it's fun. It's for the 4 guys who are still alive. For the 4 families who aren't widows. Lamenting.
Our new probable friends came back. Did you get everything we need to repair our vessel?
Sure did, buddy.
You did? That's not good. Did you tell them we were here?
Yeah, you can be a real asshole here.
Well, now that sounds extremely not good. Like I said, if you help us repair our ship, we might be able to help you deal with these scribe. So, have you found everything we need to repair our vessel? Great! Now we can fix our ship.
The funny thing about the scribe is how everyone fails to pronounce them if they've only read the text. Like before I think I played Fleet Battles and that was it, and so I was calling them like Scrivey or Scurv.
Don't murder us.
We wouldn't dream of it, Taiwan.
Great. So, my new damp chum, why don't we head back to... You can introduce us to your parents and leaders. We can tell them what we've told you. Or we could just hang out. Hooray!
One big happy ending. And thus concludes Star Control Origins. Nah, just kidding. Pom pom pom. Here comes the scribe. This time in a ship much more dangerous than a probe. This is actually the shirt that I'm wearing. I got my Star Control shirt on and it matches the key, the key art. So it's like one of my favorite shirts. It's a really cool art. Because I like how it has that contradiction. Or anywhere else. I've used that line in a couple of different marketing videos. Like a couple of trailers, I've cut out that section, and like it's the start of you know, a bunch of fleet battles footage. So the Scribe are a bit of a juxtaposition to the Taiwan. They're not so happy. Notice that the font's different. Every different character has their own, or rather alien type has their own font. And it matches their vibe. So this font is like really glorious and old schooly, a little pretentious.
Proof of your barbarity? How about the destruction of our
innocent probe who peeled me?
Do not attempt to hide it. We saw the weapons blink as we approached this system. We see the wreckage now. When I communicate the details of our encounter to Scribe No Seat, they will be most displeased at the loss of our equipment. I suspect you are the ones the Taiwan have been hiding from us. Who knew they were filled with such deceit? We thought it was just ooze. That Taiwan, the one cowering in the shadow of your vessel.
Not Wimdu. Anyone but Wimdu.
That's one of your colloquialisms. I hope it means yes. Please come destroy our planet and mine the rubble for scraps of metal. It's not. No matter. This has not been a pleasant conversation, Savage. I am glad it's over.
Whoa, where did that come from? That's a rhetorical question, actually. I know exactly where that came from. A bad place. We're still repairing our weapon systems, so we won't be able to help you. Which is a shame, because we really wanted to do that. Good luck!
Alright. The UES Vindicator, captained by Jean-Luc Picard, against the Scribe Light Cruiser. He's got a death ray and a flat cannon. But my nuke is a lot stronger now. This is flat cannon, so it's really short range, but very, very powerful. Hits everyone around him. So the advanced nuke has a lot further range. It travels faster too, so it's a lot easier to hit. The damage is the same though. He's got a pretty long range weapon, the death ray. Really, so I want to try and stay out of the range of his flat cannon. It's kind of hard to hit though. It's not a super fast ship. He's doing a pretty good chunk every time. He just gives me a little love tap with the flat cannon. They got to aim in front of him, not too far. And that's my point defense. It takes out incoming projectiles and does a bit of damage if they're close. Oh my god. Oh, he's murdering me. Oh god, I might actually lose this. Oh my god. My bad. Yeah, expert is no messing around. Like, I've played this so many times that I feel like if I don't play on expert, I'm just doing a shameful disgrace. Probably better off saving the energy, because every time I fire, it drains my energy. So you don't want to like waste it. So firing at minimum range when I'm more guaranteed to hit, like that, rather than firing at max range, where I'm probably likely to miss. Yeah, there we go, good. And if he's flying away from me, I probably won't hit him either. I can also get the salvage here. I think it's acceleration. Oh, missed it. Yeah, when you're flying, there's pretty strong deceleration. Like you can't just turn on the spot. There we go, much better.
You did great, best friend. You are so awesome. And sexy.
That escalated quickly.
What? Oh, that's weird. Translation error, probably. That happens sometimes. Anytime we say something weird or uncomfortable, that'll be a translation error.
Sure.
Of course. And it's not just a humanity-saving deal now. It's also a Taiwan-saving deal. I don't know if you caught it, but that scribe did just threaten to kill all Taiwan everywhere. That's not gonna go over well back home. But first, let's go to Earth. I imagine your leaders will want to talk about this. And when you get here, we have something we need to give you.
All right. See, the space combat in Star Control isn't Star Wars. You're not like flying a nimble little jet that can turn whatever it is. You have to kind of force. Same with here. Like if you keep floating. Like I think you eventually slow down, but maneuvering is actually a little trickier than you may think. You do get some very nimble ships, and you can even upgrade this ship to be more nimble, but you will always have that like the deceleration to play with.
So, we're definitely not alone in this universe. We've suspected as much for a while. Those weird caves on Ceres, the scraps of
Another
distant
Ashes map.
animals, all those missing giraffes. But this proves it. There are aliens out there, including some pretty mean ones. These scribes sound terrifying.
Definitely terrifying on expert. I can attest to that.
I don't know if allied is the right word. Wimdu claims the scribes sometimes integrate new aliens into their empire as vassal states of some. And if what Wimdu says is true about their current attitude to young alien species, obliterated sounds like the more likely fate they'll have planned for us. But your successful engagement with them lends us hope that we might not be completely defenseless. A shame it had to come to that. No one woke up today wanting a war with a race of murderous space centaurs. We'll begin preparing a defensive fleet right away. Still, there's a lot about this situation that we don't know. What do you think of this Wimdu? Do you trust him, Captain?
Unfortunately, there's no option for he's my best friend. He smiles too much. Yeah, I know people like that.
Yes. But it doesn't look like we can afford to turn down any friends at this point. The Taiwan have graciously offered to install something on your ship. They call it a Hyperspace Module. With it, you'll apparently be able to travel faster than the speed of light. We want you to go with the Taiwan to his home planet and request an alliance with his people. If this works,
At least a mayor.
we'll be sending actual diplomats later to handle the details. But Wimdu has insisted that you make the first
I don't think we have
gesture.
mayors in Australia.
I
We have a
think
different
he
term
has
for
a
it.
bit of a crush on you. And you did save one of their ships. The Taiwan
like
will
council
trust
leader
you
or something.
more than any other human. Moreover, you wouldn't be in
Well, we don't have
command
a president
of that
either.
ship if you weren't smart, diplomatic, and adaptable. Plus, you've passed all the sanity tests.
Sure did.
Nice, Captain. We've helped patch up the Taiwan ship, They've requested you travel with them to their homeworld in the Alpha Repeculae system. Head there right away. Then, if you can, negotiate an alliance between the Taiwan and Earth. After that, see what other information you can gather about the Scribe and the galaxy around us. Paying particular attention to the parts of the galaxy that want to destroy us. We need to get up to speed quickly here. Good luck, Captain.
All right, and thus ends chapter 1.
To activate our hyperdrive, just approach the edge of the solar system. It'll engage automatically.
There's more I can do in here, but I won't. I do kind of want the lander gun though. Yeah. Oh yes, something cool about we have an extra planet. So there's rumored to be Planet X, something that is speculated to exist due to gravitational forces, and that's Planet X, Planet Artemis. Assuming that Planet X is real. It'd be really cool if, like, the day after Star Control launches,
It looks like our new hyperdrive
that's
came with
discovered.
a navigational system, Captain.
So this kind of gives us the look at what the majority of the game is like. So we've been ordered to travel to Alpha Repeculae. You can type it in the search bar, or you can navigate to it via the captain's log with autopilot. But you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. It is an open galaxy. You can explore, you can travel to various different star systems, and there is a lot out there. I don't know how many there. That's like a few hundred. And so every one of these stars on the map here, these are all star systems like Earth. Some of them are empty and boring. Some of them, however, have more planets than even Sol. Some of them have 2 stars per star system. So you'll have, you know, over a dozen planets, moons, and each planet has its own resources to collect. Oh, actually, one thing I want to show you first. Yeah, so, and each planet, you know, there's like a chance that you'll see some kind of old relic, and they're all hand placed, so there's no like random. When I say random, I mean like it seems random to the player. I think it's Ross. Yeah, there's a couple things I want to show you. Yeah, so this is where you meet the Zontar merchant. So this is the very first quest that I wrote. This was me just like testing with the software for writing quests. I actually had a more witty writer touch it up and make the dialogue more goofy, but I effectively wrote the core of this interaction. So these mini dialogues, these aren't voiced. It's only like the main characters and stuff. He's accused me of being a weird alien, and that offends me. I, my repulsive friend, am an honest merchant. So it's a pretty basic quest. Head to the near system, destroy the pirates. We can actually kill him if we want to. I failed to see the pertinence of my cargo's high resale value. Just wanted to prove that I was listening. Yeah, so then we travel to the nearest system here, kill some pirates, and it gives us some money. So because I was learning, it's called Adventure Studio. It's like the tool that we had created so that we could do all the writing ourselves, the designers and writers, without having to have like programmers write quests. And so when I was learning the software, I was like, I'm gonna make a really, really simple quest. And that is my simple quest. So we're gonna fly to, I think it's this system here. Yeah, Wolf 359. And there's a special treat for you waiting in Wolf 359. Then there's the pirates here. That's, you know, not quite what I meant by a special surprise, but another one. We'll deal with them later, the Volzon frigate, yeah. They used to be called pirates. Are you ready, folks? Are you ready? Boom! Planet McCall. This is my house. This is where it's actually a pretty crappy planet, to be honest. There isn't really much here, but it's, you know, it's where I live. It's where I raise my family. We're homeschooled on planet McCall. This one's actually a little bit dangerous because there's lightning everywhere. Yeah, I don't really want to stay here for very long. Planet McCall is rather inhospitable. The chance of getting shanked on planet McCall is quite high. So just an FYI, you may not want to buy some real estate there. So hopefully you guys found that as exciting as I did. Go to my planet and chill for a few seconds before being scared off by the lightning. Now let's come back here. Fire at will. We'll talk with him first. Maybe I just like the air here. I mean vacuum. Yeah, we have some very witty writers. All right, and so now we can actually pick the Taiwan ship too. So that's our main ship, the Vindicator, and then you have like a bunch of smaller ships in your fleet. So the Vindicator, until you start getting better stuff, really isn't that good in combat. And if you lose the Vindicator, you lose the game. So you generally want to use smaller ships first. So this ship's a lot more mobile. I can maneuver around. I can get these pickups a lot easier. He's having a hard time with that turret. Yes, the Taiwan ship is pretty damn good in combat. I mean, that's a pretty easy ship because it's, you know, it's right near Seoul. So there's no like official lines. The line you see there is my fuel capacity. I can't, if I went that far, I'd run out of fuel. But the further away you go from Seoul, the harder the encounters are. So the first sort of ships you're going to run into are pretty weak, but then there is some serious stuff out there that will murder you. And there's certain systems that are basically no-go zones, and I know this because I made them. So I deliberately made those ships to be incredibly overpowered, and that was fun. It is way more fun making overpowered ships than it is to make balanced ships. More creative liberty, we'll say. And they're like really big, and the weapons are like just ridiculous. How's giving those pirates what for? Yes, we murdered the pirates for you. Wow, that's a lot of money. Jeez. Yeah, that is a lot of money. 6,000 RU. Alright, what else am I going to show you? Oh, of course, I want to show you the starbase. So there's a bunch of different starbases around, and there's one conveniently placed next to Seoul. However, it's guarded by this dude, the unknown observer.
You have arrived.
He's communicating to us through a psychic gem.
We have been watching. We have never met before, but you know us. We have a vested interest.
There's another line that he says that I used in a marketing video.
Now would complicate this conversation. You may know that we have watched you for several thousand years, and that is all that you may know. We did not expect you to find us for some time yet. Events have accelerated. Your Lexites saw it. They took a different path, a darker path.
He became Darth Vader.
Not our concern. Our bond is only with you.
Let's talk about your appearance for a minute.
Our technology is so far advanced from yours, we could take any form we choose. We could be angels, or demons, or little green men. We could be you.
Yeah, so they chose like the generic green alien trope deliberately.
The object near here is a space station left behind by a race of aliens who have long departed from this facet. Their true name is not known to any of your peers. Precursors is a common handle in this facet and others. Their artifacts, like this space station, will not work for your peers, but they will work for you. Because we have activated them for you. We are not peers of the precursors. They are beyond even us, as they have often shown. But we have seen enough to know some of their tricks. Use these stations. They will be a great asset to you. Their caretakers are unique, but this is typical of precursor technology.
They are also Australian for some reason.
You are welcome. If you need advice on where to go next, Proxima Centauri is famously not far. The moon of Calf's there contains many valuable resources these star bases can make use of. Beyond that, this will not be the last time we talk. You will be fine. Explore, talk, fight. Be human.
That's the line that I used in my video. All right, let's talk to the starbase.
Greek, Sixu, Fringy, hello, 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 hello.
Calibration complete. Natural language interaction now possible with hit rate of 99.5 honk tonk %. Sound familiar? I'm so excited, honestly. The fact that I voiced this starbase, it's like having my voice in a game is awesome.
Offline for 205,432 years. Why have I come online now? Checking. Exception. Reboot cause not found. This is an automated port, research, recreational facility created by Exception, name not found. I am an avatar of that facility. I have been projected into this facet of the multiverse to facilitate its use. This facility, and others like it, can process raw minerals into generalized resource units, and then process those into fuel, equipment, or entire vessels. It can also tell you stories.
Big good stories.
Checksums indicate large portions of my internal memory have been corrupted. Consequently, this facility only has limited information on the following topics. Exception, name not found, local stars, and fun facts.
It was a challenge doing all the exception, name not founds, because I had to like make it sound different. So I had to like record it separately and then chop it in, rather than me just saying exception, name not found, local stars, and fun facts. So every starbase you go to tells you a fun fact.
The 200 billionth digit of E is 2. This facility is over 200,000 years old. Standard to make it changed. Calibrations are still continuing. Is there anything else?
Let's buy some stuff. New components available. So yeah, we can hypergate, but there's no other starbases that we've discovered. We can sell our conventionals, sell this basic nuke. So yeah, these are things that you collected. So the resource thulium is going to give us 590 RU. All this combined is probably only like 1,000 RU. And so I love how it staggers the selling. So it makes you feel richer. Let's get some more fuel. And yeah, outfit. And so because we're now at the starbase, we've got a bunch of precursor technology. So now we have access to more components. Not a lot, not a huge amount, but certainly enough that we can start customizing the ship if we want to. So we can get a better thruster if we want to. I will get a lander gun, just so I can pew things. More cargo. Yeah, actually, that's pretty useful too. Yeah, just so I don't have to like leave.
Is there anything else? One other thing before we...
Yeah, he just talks about like hypergates and stuff. So I do want to show you one more thing before I wrap the stream up. I want to avoid that guy because he's a pirate and he's going to try and eat my cookies, and I don't want that. I'm very protective of my cookies. So we're going to go to the Altair system. We can autopilot, but that's kind of boring. I much prefer manual flying. And we have the music that's playing, the Hyperspace music, is actually like a remix of, I believe, the Star Control 2 Hyperspace music, and it has that sort of chiptune-ish vibe. So it definitely gives you that sort of retro impression. So you can see there's plenty of other ships flying around. All of them in this area. These are all Taiwan because we're in Taiwan space. Hence the the yellow territory border. There's a bunch of different aliens, like major aliens, and they have their own sectors. Actually, I'll show you the Muke as well, just to give you a bit of an impression of like what another alien type looks like. And there's a lot of different. There's a Muke. So here there's plenty of planets, moons, Muke Lurker. So I didn't make these ships, but I did have to tweak them a lot in terms of actually configuring them in-game and like making sure they all have engine trails. So we have a lot of options here because this is a new contact with a new alien. So we can destroy them, but we can be nice and hail them. We can disengage. But why would you do that? So, yeah, so with the ship creator, it allows us to create ships just using parts.
A new
I'll talk about that later.
alien in a delightful new spaceship. Look how hard you're trying.
E for effort.
Hello, hopefully friendly new alien. Nothing at all. It was quite impolite of me to even mention it.
You bastard.
Allow
Next
me
time,
to introduce myself.
the torpedoes will do
I
the
am a
speaking.
senior Ingpod commander of the Muke 9th Fleet, representing the Federation of Allied Species.
I don't want to spend a lot of time talking because I've already shown you just like
Always
mostly
nice to meet
dialogue.
an alien who breathes
There's
through their
there's a bunch of
gills
options
and
whenever you meet a
watches
new
so
alien. Yeah, so with the ship, I can actually show you the shipbuilder after this. But with the shipbuilder, it allows you to make ship parts, make ships out of ship parts rather than like requiring an artist to make a 3D model. And so what that means is we have like 100 ships. Like we have well over 100 ships because they're not all being manually painted by some artist in ZBrush. They're just being put together by designers, and they don't have to do the texturing for them. It's all sort of tied to this really easy process that allows us to create so much different variety of ships, but without having to have like 10 different artists in-house. That's Muke. So now that we've spoken to them, we can see that we see Muke territory. And Muke and the Taiwan, they're friendly. Others are a little bit more quirky and murderous, to say the least. Something cool though that the Muke show off is that not all of our aliens are just generic humanoids. Something that quite frustrates me about sci-fi in general is a lot of, or rather a lack of creativity. Is they're like, hey, we have some aliens. Guess what? They have a nose and 2 eyes and a mouth and a face like a human. Yeah, see this one, the wind's really bad. So landing on this one, powerful winds may make safely landing on this planet extremely difficult. So we can try it. We may or may not plummet to our deaths. We only partially plummeted to our death. Oh no. No one was killed. And we see that it's so windy here, we can barely see the planet. And this one's quite bumpy too, so a little haphazard here. These resources are also pretty junk, so we won't spend any time there. Yeah, most sci-fi, the aliens are just really generic. Where here we have, we have squids, we have fish, slugs, we have all these different types of aliens that don't just resemble, like, hey, it's a human, but slightly different looking. I won't spoil more aliens. I'm looking for, I don't know where the planet is. Whatever. We'll meet one of these. So we see the Muke here. They're like one of the major races. But then there's also some of the minor aliens. And so these ones, likewise, I implemented and did a lot of the writing for. Now this is a nice happy planet. There's grass. There's also snow, however. Lots of trees. Lots of bushes. So yeah, some of these planets are very detailed. They're not all just moons, though most of them are. And you know, these resources are pretty good too. And that is a 21st century city. The one and only true Halgoth city. So alien that sometimes I even abduct myself. So yeah, as I said like earlier, we have well, there's one writer in particular who I paired up with. He sort of did a goofy wit pass. So I would like write it and it would be like kind of generic. Then he would come and just like add all these funny one-liners and stuff. So I certainly can't take credit for any of the hilarity of this writing. Yeah, these guys are a little up themselves. Broadcasting toothpaste ads. So there's a bit of star system sibling rivalry. I'll just get the rest of the silver. Silver represented by a gold color. The colors represent like the type of element. So there's like metals, gases. I don't know what the other types are called, but the color gives you like an impression of what its worth is. So there's the Halgoth, planet Halgoth, capital of the Halgothi space program. I want to go talk to, yeah. So these are the native aliens on this star system. Are a brutish war-craving folk. Yeah, so that was the other local alien. We can go to their home planet. So these alien interactions, there's actually quests behind them, and there's actually choices that you make. Like that first quest I showed you was really simple. This one is a little more, shall we say, nuanced. So you talk to these guys and they say sort of a similar thing that like, hang on a minute, we didn't do anything, they attacked us first. Oh, this planet has critters too. So here we go, the giant space dinosaurs, and we can murder the space dinosaurs. They're pretty tough though because they're giant, but if you pew them enough they die, and then of course you get their critter meat. And then you can sell that, which gives you a fair bit of money. Now these space dinosaurs, they're one of the few types of critters that don't have some kind of attack. Because a lot of the other critters have some kind of like weapon, or they'll like charge at you. There's also like drones on planets as well, so you know, many times the critters are the hazard rather than like a volcano or something. Yeah, speaking of volcanoes, these will instantly kill me. Often the most valuable resources are on the most hazardous planets. Not always, of course, but it kind of encourages you to upgrade your lander in order to be able to explore these more hazardous worlds. So you can get physical armor, which will make you resistant or in some cases immune to these attacks. Or you just get more crew, which is like more health, because they only do, I think it's like 15 damage by default, which will kill you 3 times over by default. Surprised I haven't ran into any like toxin worlds. There's normally a few lying around. But that's gonna wrap up my my playthrough anyway. I just wanted to show you about an hour's worth of gameplay. I might actually continue this, because I haven't played it like... haven't played a full playthrough in a while. So that's like the campaign, or the adventure mode as we call it, and that's only one part of the game. We also have the fleet battle standalone, which is where you kind of pick your own deck of ships, and then you throw those into a battle. So it's like a standalone of the battle element. This is actually the Taiwan ship. I'll pick something different. I'm just so habitually ingrained to press the Taiwan ship is one that I would always use to test things, but we've got the Greek rocks here, for example. So it's like a whole sort of add-on to the game. And you meet all of these ships throughout the adventure mode, but you can play this as a separate add-on. You also have multiplayer in this. There's ranked, so you can like play against other players. You can do local play, so you can have 2 people on the one computer with like a controller, or just like sharing the keyboard. Not many games allow you to do like single PC multiplayer, but this game sure does. And a lot of the other aliens have like quirky abilities, so like I can actually heal myself. The only ship that can heal, because I'm not actually a ship. I'm you know, a bunch of space fish. And the thing I wanted to show you as well is the crafting. So this is what I'm talking about here. I actually made the ship, which was in the campaign. So yeah, when you make a ship, not all of these are made via the custom ship parts, but like this one here, for example, is. So the way that the ship crafter works is there's all of these different pieces, and most of these respond to like an alien type, but some of them are just neutral. And you start off with like, you know, that's a head of a ship, and then you can add on things. So we can add on like that's more of the body of a ship. And we can, you know, we can rotate these around and flip them and so forth. And we can add on some wings. You know, just rotate it if it doesn't look the way that you have in mind. So you can fully make your own ship from scratch. And some of the ships that our artists have made using this ship crafter, let alone like the community, what the community has made. Very, very impressive stuff. And it's a thing that like anyone can do, but some people can do it better than others, because there's some kind of like artistic flair that I don't exactly have. I mean, I'm obviously making this pretty rushed, so it's kind of a funky looking ship. We'll put some wings on. This is kind of like the other ship that I made. We can actually put a model of a weapon on. Yeah, like that. Bam! I made that in, you know, what, a minute? Oh yeah, you gotta add the mounts on. That's where like the engine trail comes from. That's where the weapons will come from, if you want them to like come from the side. Thought I put that on already. And then, so the cool thing about making ships is you can actually use these in fleet battles. So that you're not just making them for show. Self-destruct, yeah. Be careful using self-destruct. Let's go de-energizer bolt, speed burst. You can give them like different engines and stuff too. And what that will do is it gives them a point value. So yeah, that's one I made before. That's one I just made now. So then when you go into fleet battles, you have X amount of fleet points. And so you got to like create your own deck of ships fitting within that amount. And that ship that I just made, he has a speed boost as well. We can now use it in combat. And you can download other people's ships off of the workshop and use them in combat. So Fleet Battles is a really fun game, like on top of the actual 20-hour campaign that has pretty dynamic story in terms of like the decisions that you can make, the way that you can play it. It's non-linear in terms of, it's an open galaxy, you meet aliens in whatever order you want. You know, in my playthrough just then, I didn't go to the Taiwan homeworld. I flew around being a goof. So that is it. Thank you for watching. That will wrap up my stream. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor working on this project. It's been so cool being part of this, the talented artists, developers, and the rest of the writing team and the designers at Stardock. And I'm really proud of the way this game has turned out, and it's available right now at the time of this video. For me, it's Wednesday evening, so I'm keen for the release, and hopefully you pick up your copy. My name is Callum McCall. Thanks for watching, and I'm sure I'll be bringing more content of some kind. Maybe not Star Control, but definitely Ashes. Thanks.